Today I'm going to show you how to make some stairs to attach to your agility contact table. I'm going to be using a 24-inch contact table because my dog jumps at 24 inches. All we're going to need is a small piece of 3/4 inch plywood. This piece is just some scrap I have lying around, but you're going to need 4-foot square piece, 48 inches square. We'll also need just a little bit of 1/2 inch plywood, and I have some scraps laying around for that too. We won't need a whole lot more than this. Let's get to it. So the first step we're going to do is along our 48-inch length, or 121.92 centimeters, we're going to rip this piece down to 5.5 inches, 5.5 inches. That's about 13.97 centimeters. So let's make these two cuts. We're actually going to make two pieces. There's one. The next step we want to do is to cut our treads. And our treads are going to be 11 inches deep, which is 27.94 centimeters. And then we'll cut them to width at a later time. So let's do these cuts. There's going to be 4 treads to cut. Well, I wanted to show a mistake I just made. I just cut all the treads to their width, which was 11 inches. And you know, I should have cut them to length first, which is 34.5 inches. Because now I'm going to cut down this line that I have the rule on, and I'm going to have 4 pieces of scrap I can't do anything with. That was a mistake. I intended to do it right, but I forgot. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut the risers out of the 1/2 inch plywood. Like I said, you don't really need a whole lot, just some scrap. So these are going to be 121.92 millimeters wide, and that's 4.8 inches. And so I'm going to go ahead and rip those down now. And that's it. Just 4 pieces. Like I said, you don't need a whole lot. That's why I said just a little bit of scrap. Now I'm going to cut all of the treads and the risers to their final width, which is 34.5 inches. Now that turns out to be 87.63 centimeters. And like I said earlier, I should have cut this all at one time, so then I have to individually cut each piece. But that's alright. Now I'm using my table saw crosscut sled, which I built. But you can definitely do all of these cuts with a circular saw. That would be just fine. That completes the risers. Now I'll cut the treads. that's all the treads. Next thing I'm going to do is cut the stringers to length. And that length measured on the diagonal, which remember this sits on the diagonal, so we can just measure the length of this piece, is 37¼ inches, which I forgot to convert to metric. If we take 37.25 inches and multiply by 2.54, it is 94.615 centimeters. Well, this next step's going to be a little tricky. What we need to do, I've marked it up here on this board. We need to draw these two lines over here at this point. Now what we need is this line is going to be our first rise, and then this is going to sit against the floor. So this needs to be 4.05 inches or 102.87 millimeters. And then we'll have a right angle here that extends out that way, and we'll cut off to the floor. But if I set my protractor to 64.4 degrees, which is what this is, how do I know where to draw the line? So what I'll do is take my tape measure and put it on here right at the origin so I can measure 102.87 centimeters or millimeters, which looks pretty good right there. So I'm going to draw this line and I'm going to check it. Nope, I got it a little big. I need to come back more. This isn't the easiest thing to measure. Okay, so now that I have my line, which is 102.87 centimeters, now I need to square it up. And that's my right angle to the floor. So this gets cut out, and this gets cut out. This rests against the floor, and this is the first rise. It'll go like this on the floor. Now what I've done here is clamped both of the stringers together to my workbench, so that when I cut these lines, I'm cutting both at the same time. I know they'll be exactly the same cut on both sides. So let's go ahead and cut it with a circular saw. Now this is how we're going to lay out the upper side of the stringer. At the other end of the stringer, I have my protractor still set to 64.4 degrees. And I have drawn a line from the very corner all the way down. Now I need to measure 3 3/4 inches from the tip of that line. And I have my mark right here. Finally, I'll take my protractor still set at 64.4, which the opposite angle is going to be 115.6. And put it on this side. So now I know that this is a right angle because I haven't moved the triangle with the protractor. So I'll draw this line. Okay. Now I'm going to measure 3/4 inch to account for the sides of my contact table. It's a little bumpy in the plywood right here. Let's come up on top. Okay, so now I can come down to the bottom and line up that line. And draw my mark. So, this is going to get cut out and this is going to get cut out. What we have is the contact table sits here like this, and it has 3/4 inch sides that go all the way around it. and our stairs are coming down off of it this direction. Now this stringer is going to meet up against this side of the table, but it's going to fit underneath this side of the table and hook right in against the leg. So that's what this notch is for right here. Let's cut this one out, and I think I'm going to cut it with a jigsaw.